Hello everyone. So we are going to continue the chapter structure of the atom today. In the previous video we learned that Niels Bohr gave a model of atom in which he said that electrons keep on revolving in their discrete orbits, right? And while moving in the discrete orbits, they do not radiate energy. They keep moving in their fixed orbits until unless they gain some energy or they lose some energy, right? So we learned that suppose this is the nucleus, so the electrons keep revolving in certain discrete orbits which he named as K, L, M, N, shell and so on. These are known as shells or energy levels. He also named them as first energy level, second energy level, third energy level and so on. Right? So today we are going to learn how these electrons are distributed in the shell. What will be the number of shells in the K shell or L shell or M shell or N shell and so on. So today we are going to learn this. So but this is known as Bohr-Buddy scheme, right? So Bohr-Buddy, they gave a scheme for this. That is, they gave a special formula for this to show how electrons are distributed in the shells. So they said that electrons are distributed according to the formula 2n square, where this n represents the shells, number of shell. Right? What is the number of shell, whether it is the first shell or the second shell or the third shell. So in the first shell, if we talk about the first shell, it will be 2 into 1 square. That is, the number of electrons accommodated in the first shell is only 2. In the second shell, it will become 2 into 2 square. That is, see, 2 square means 4. So 4 2s are 8. In the third, it will be 2 into 3 square. 3 square means 3 3s are 9 and 9 2s are 18. Now in your syllabus you have to do up to 18 only, right? Otherwise also if we speak, you have to do only up to 8, because the outermost shell cannot accommodate more than 8 electrons. And when we are filling the electrons till the first shell is complete, we cannot move on to the next. That is, the electrons will not start filling the next shell till the first shell is complete. What you have to learn is only up to 2, 8 and 8. This is actually, we are going to learn now the electronic configuration. This is known as electronic configuration. That is how the electrons fill the shells, right? How many electrons will be present in each shell. That is known as electronic configuration. So when we learn this, you will come to know how to fill the electrons. This way you will learn in your higher classes. In today or in class 9, you have to do up to 8 electrons in the outermost shell, right? You have to learn actually only about the first 18 elements. So we'll do that one by one. And when you learn the electronic configuration, it will become very easy for you to learn the valency also. Valency also can be calculated by this. So let's take some example. Now for this, it is very, very important that you learn all the 18 elements by heart. It is a must. It is very, very important. It should be at your tips. Which are the first 18 electrons and which element comes at which position, at which number. Like if I ask you what is the atomic number of sodium, you should immediately reply 11. Magnesium is 12. Right? Carbon 6. So this way, oh sorry, only 18, yes, you can learn this. Right? About 18 electrons you have to learn. Rest of course you will learn in your higher classes. Right? So, if we talk about the first element, that is hydrogen. So these are the elements. Then we write the atomic number here and then we write the distribution of electrons like in K, L, N shell. Right? Now hydrogen. Hydrogen, the atomic number is 1. Right? So in K shell, we'll write 1. It will fill the first shell only. Then second comes helium, which has 2 electrons in the outermost shell. So this will fill the K shell. Now this is completely filled. Right? Then next, like let's write here 2 into 1 square means 2. 2 into 2 square means 8. 2 into 3 square, of course this you don't have to do it. So in the first shell only up to 2 electrons can be filled and this fills the complete shell. So here it becomes stable. Till the shell is completely filled, the atom, it is unstable. Right? Then we do the next one, that is the third one, lithium. That is having atomic number 3. So it will first fill the first shell with 2 electrons. We will not write 3 here because in the first shell only 2 electrons can be accommodated. So we will write 2 here and 1 in the next shell, that is in the L shell. So this is how it will complete its electrons. Then next is beryllium, that is 4 electrons. So in the first shell 2 electrons, in the second shell 2 more electrons. Then comes boron, that is 5 electrons. That means here it will be 2 and here it will be 3. In L shell we can fill up to 8 electrons. So this is how it will continue. Right? So helium, lithium, then beryllium, boron, then next comes carbon. That is 2, 4. Then comes nitrogen. That is 2, 5. Then comes oxygen. That is 8. Atomic number is 8. So it will be 2, 6. Right? Then fluorine. That is 9. That will be 2, 7. Then after that comes argon. That is, sorry, after this comes neon, having 10 electrons. That will be 2, 8. Now here the second shell is completely filled. Right? Now no more electrons can be accommodated in this shell. So this neon, which is having a completely filled shell, outermost shell, right? The innermost is completely filled, then the outermost is completely filled. And here helium, which has its outermost shell completely filled. These are known as inert gases, or these are also known as rare gases, or these are also known as noble gases, right? The elements which have their outer shell completely filled, they are known as the noble gases or the inert gases or the rare gases. Similarly, we have argon, atomic number 18. Right, we'll do that also. Now let's do one more example here. Suppose we take sodium. Sodium, it has atomic number 11. So what will happen here? Now we will not write 2, 9. We cannot write 9 here because second shell cannot accommodate more than 8 electrons. So here in place of 9, we will write 8, and in the third shell, that is M shell, we will write 1 electron. So, and we cannot start any other shell. Like here, we cannot write 2, suppose this was 7 here. We cannot write 2, 6 and 1. We cannot start the next shell till this shell is completely filled. So this will be wrong, right? So we have to write 7 here. Or we cannot write 2, 7, 1 because this shell can accommodate 8 electrons. So till this shell becomes completely filled, we cannot start the third shell. After this shell is completely filled, see 2 and 8, this shell cannot accommodate more than 8. Now we can write 1 here. Same way for magnesium, which is 12. We will write 2, 8, 2. Now just now I was talking about argon. Argon is 18. This we can continue like this. After magnesium will come aluminium, then silicon. So this way we can continue. For argon it is 18. So it will be 2, 8 and then 8. Right? So 2, 8, 8. Let me write it a little up here about this. So if it is argon with atomic number 18, it will become 2, 8, 8. That means now the third shell, as I told you, the outer shell cannot have more than 8 electrons. About 18 you will learn in your higher classes. That is again the subdivision goes on. So we will not do just now. Right? So here again this shell becomes completely filled. So argon is also known as the inert or rare gas. So in your syllabus you have 3 inert gases: helium, neon and argon. There are 3 more gases after this. There's krypton, there's radon, right, and xenon also. But you don't have to do those, right? Only till 18 elements you have to do. Of course, some children, they try to learn till 20. You can learn till 20 also. In your book it is given till 18. Syllabus is till 18. Right? After argon, actually at number 19 is potassium. That is 19. And calcium is at 20. So for 19 it will be 2, 8, 8 and then 1. And for calcium it will be 2, 8, 8 and 2. Like this. Right? But in your course you have only till the third shell. Right? Now let's talk about the valency. What is valency? Valency means the combining capacity. How the atoms combine with the atoms of the other element. That depends on the outermost valence electrons. Now the number of electrons which are, now this is already completely filled. This all is completely filled shell, right, with 2 electrons. So we will not see this. What we have to see is, we have to see here the second shell where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all this is written. Right? 8 here becomes completely filled, so the valency becomes 0. The elements which have the outermost shell completely filled, that is all the inert gases, they will have the valency 0. Right? Now if we see here, lithium, there is 1 electron in the outermost shell. Right? So it can give away 1 electron very easily to attain stability. The stable atom will be only that which has the outermost shell complete. Now if it gives away 1 electron while combining with any other element, it will have 2 in the outermost shell and it will become stable. So these atoms actually they have the tendency to gain stability. Right? So that is how we can calculate all these 1, 2, 3, 4, all these are known as the valence electrons that is present in the outermost orbit. Number of electrons present in the outermost orbit. And from valence electrons we come to know about the valency of that element. So if it has got 1 electron, it will give away 1 electron very easily and have valency 1. If it has 2 electrons, now what is the tendency actually? To gain an octet, that is 8 electrons in the outermost shell, so that it may become stable. This is known as octet, with the one which has got 8 electrons in the outermost shell. Now, to gain 6 electrons is difficult, but to give away 2 electrons is easy, because this also requires energy, right? So, it will very easily give away 2 electrons and the valency will become 2. Same way, it will be difficult for it to gain 5 electrons, so it will be easy to give away 3 electrons. So the valency becomes 3. Now this 4, ये थोड़ा गड़बड़ वाला मामला होता है. Right? Either to give away 4 electrons or to take 4 electrons. ठीक है? Octet जो बनेगा वो 3 चीजों से ही बन सकता है. या तो इलेक्ट्रॉन गेन करेंगे, या इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज करेंगे, या इलेक्ट्रॉन शेयर करेंगे. इन्हीं 3 चीजों से ही ऑक्टेट गेन होगा, स्टेबिलिटी आई. ठीक. अब अगर तो वो लूज कर रहा है इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, तो वैलेंसी जो है वो पॉजिटिव मानी जाती है. एंड दिस टेक्स प्लेस मोस्टली इन द मेटल्स. अब ये नंबर 4 पर क्या आ गया? ना तो ये गेन कर सकते हैं ना लूज कर सकते हैं. ये क्या करेगा? ये इलेक्ट्रॉन्स शेयर करेगा. क्यों शेयर करेगा? ये आप क्लास 10th में पढ़ोगे, ये हम तब लेंगे. ठीक है. अब नेक्स्ट आता है 5. ठीक है. अब ये जो लूज गेन शेयर होता है ये सिर्फ 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स में होता है. नंबर उसका 3 ही रहता है. ठीक. ना 3 से ज्यादा ना 3 से कम. अब ये आ गया 5 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. तो 5 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स तो लूज करना पॉसिबल नहीं है, बहुत एनर्जी चाहिए. लेकिन 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स लेना उसके लिए इजी होगा. तो ये क्या करेगा? 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स गेन करेगा. तो इसकी वैलेंसी भी हो जाएगी 3, ऑल्दो इसकी वैलेंसी माइनस में रहेगी. Even if we don't write here plus or minus, doesn't make a difference. You should know, अगर 5 है तो वो 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स गेन करेगा। सिर्फ 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स तक ही लूज या गेन हो सकता है, 5 का इट बिकम्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट। ये चीज आपको याद रखनी है। अब 6 है तो 6 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स देने बहुत मुश्किल है, 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स लेने इजी है। तो क्या करेगा, 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन लेगा तो उसकी वैलेंसी हो जाएगी 2 एंड इट विल बिकम एन ऑक्टेट। सेम वे अगर ये 7 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है तो इसकी वैलेंसी 7 नहीं होगी, इसकी वैलेंसी क्या होगी 1, क्योंकि ये 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन लेगा। आपको ये चीज याद रखनी है कि सिर्फ 3 तक पॉसिबल है, राइट। सो फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड में तो बहुत इजी है, वो 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन दे देगा। फोर्थ वाले में वो शेयर करेगा, 5 6 7 में वो गेन करेगा। जितने इलेक्ट्रॉन गेन करेगा वो उसकी वैलेंसी होगी। इफ इट इज टेकिंग 3 electrons, gaining 3 electrons, valency will be 3. If it is gaining 2 electrons, valency will be 2. If it is gaining 1 electron, valency will be 1. Right? So this is how you come to know about the valencies also. But for this, you can only calculate the valency if you know the atomic numbers. So it is very, very important that the first 18, or if you want to learn 20 elements, you have to learn them in a serial order. Very, very important, right? So learn this, then only you will be able to do this. How to calculate the valencies, right? Now suppose I give you, I ask you, what is the valency of, let's take an example, suppose aluminium. Now, if you know aluminium is at number 13, very easy. You can easily even calculate in your mind. It will be 2, 8, 3. So what will be the valency of aluminium? It will become 3, right? Because it has got 3 in the outermost orbit. Now suppose I say for chlorine, chlorine is at number 17. So it will be 2, 8, 7. Now what will be the valency here? It will not be 7. What will be the valency here? If this 7 is in the outermost orbit, valency will be 1, because it will take 1 electron. Understood now how to calculate the valency, how to write the electronic configuration. If you know how to write the electronic configuration, it is very easy to calculate the valency. So please learn this. इसमें अगर आपने मास्टरी कर ली तो आपके लिए केमिस्ट्री बहुत इजी है। ये बेसिक्स हैं केमिस्ट्री के, विच यू आर गोइंग टू डू इन योर हायर क्लासेस ऑल्सो। सारा केमिस्ट्री का बेस है ये, तो आपको ये याद करना बहुत जरूरी है। फर्स्ट 18 और 20 एलिमेंट्स, लर्न देम बाय हार्ट इन सीरियल ऑर्डर। कोई भी आपसे पूछे कार्बन कौन से नंबर पे आता है, या ऑक्सीजन कौन से नंबर पे आता है, या एल्यूमिनियम कौन से नंबर पे आता है, फास्फोरस कौन से नंबर पे आता है, आपके टिप्स पर होना चाहिए। अगर ये आपको याद है तो बहुत इजी हो जाएगा। फॉर्मूला बनाने बहुत इजी हो जाएंगे, फॉर्मूला लिखने बहुत इजी हो जाएंगे। ये इन सब चीजों का बेस ये है, तो ये आपको बहुत अच्छे से याद करने हैं, राइट? सो टिल वी मीट अगेन, कीप लर्निंग ऑल दिस, स्टडी हार्ड, learn all this by heart and keep safe. Thank you.